So, unlike the previous two installments of this film, A, I had to watch this one in the theater, and B, you didn't see this one with me. It was just me on this one.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling well, so that's kind of why I had to go solo, and I'm sorry you had to endure this on your own.
I think you made up your illness to get out of this one.
I also had to take care of the dog while you're out.
That's true. Peach saved you.
Yes, thank you, Peach.
She's not okay being by herself.
No.
Although I hope she gets that way soon because Black Panther comes out this weekend. But yes, hello everyone. I almost said this is the Gauntlet of Garbage.
You need to get out of that.
I was going to say that's over with, but it's never really over with.
No, this will be the Gauntlet of Garbage for 2018.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch this again for when you have to watch it. So I'm going to have to watch this motherfucker twice. For anybody out there who doesn't know, this is the Post-Geek Out Reaction. And the Post-Geek Out Reaction, it's not a review, it's just an open discussion about the thing that we just watched, and that does include full spoilers. The Gauntlet of Garbage is something that we do every single January, in which we go back through and look at all the films that people call the worst movies of the year for the previous year. And we just finished that. It went long this year. It went into the first week of February. But it was done. It was over with. I literally, the day that I went and saw this, put out my 10 worst movies of the year list, the thing that the Gauntlet of Garbage is all leading up to. And then I went and I watched this thing. This was the from hell's heart I stab at thee moment of the Gauntlet of Garbage. This was, I don't know how many of my fan base is young enough to get that reference. Is old enough to get that reference. For you younger kids out there, this is the I'm flying off Namek as it's exploding and it calls me a stupid monkey and then just throws an energy blast at my back, okay? This is the it's over with. It's done. Jason pops out of the water and is like, not yet! Pulling me back in. Man, how many films and TV shows out there have the villain come back when you thought they were dead? Wow. Yeah, this was, oh my god. There came a moment in this film.
No, it's I remember when you got back and I asked you, how was the movie? And you turned to me and said, how do you think it was? And I specifically said, stupid and boring like the previous two. And you said, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Except, here's the sad thing. This is probably the best of the three films. Because in the last 15 minutes, this actually acts like a movie. Rather than a long-ass, boring episode of Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Because, yeah, that's what these things are. It is basically just, hey, this lady has sex with a guy, and they do really rich people things. They fly in his fancy plane, they go to his fancy house, they go on vacation, they just do all these things. It's nothing but... This thing is just so an excuse for a vacation, I'm shocked Adam Sandler isn't in this. This, dear God. Seriously, guys, we saved 50 Shades Darker for the last film for the Gauntlet of Garbage of this year. So I went straight from that into this one, and I have been doing nothing but watching shitty films for an entire month. This was when it was alright, finally, back to the theater. And the first thing I have to watch is this. I am not kidding you. There came a point in this film where I was salivating, thinking about Black Panther. Oh. I was thirsty for Black Panther, alright? I was there it's coming. It's a week away. Oh, good movies. Good movies are coming. Oh, it's right on the horizon, man.
It's like that Gordon Ramsay meme. It's finally, delicious fucking movies.
I wanted to yell at Gordon Ramsay in this film. I have listened to other critics talk about what it's like to go to a 50 Shades screening, and my showing wasn't as weird as the horror stories that I always hear people have, but then again, I went in the middle of the day on Friday. Mm-hmm. I didn't go at night when most people do.
Go in it after hours.
In a trench coat after the sun has gone down. I saw, it was a lot of women there, couples of women, multiple women there, or women with their husbands. But there was one dude there by himself, and I just looked at that dude film critic. Yeah.
You should have just walked up to him and was film critic? Film critic. Yeah. And it's just, you should have just sat together
I just give him a knowing glance from across. Just a slow thumb up. But I have heard the horror stories about like what goes on at these things. I missed the first 5 minutes of this movie, and it's not because I got there late. I got there right at the time when the movie was going to show. I grabbed the handle to the door to open it. It was sticky and gooey.
Ew.
And I run to the bathroom. Bathroom is shut down because someone made a mess in there, which could mean multiple things, but I literally, like, I listened to the Double Toasted guys talk about this, and they went, yeah, I went to the bathroom during the most. There was man stuff all over it and footprints on the walls, and I was like, oh,
Wait, so
God.
like guys were...
Hey man, if you take your girlfriend to this thing and she gets turned on, it's better to go to the guy's bathroom than the women's one. But yeah, so I had to run to the one all the way at the other end of the movie theater to wash my hand after this. And then I went back into it and grabbed a bunch of napkins from the concession stand and used those to open the door. Yeah, I don't like germs, and I don't like thinking about what that could have been. Cause it didn't feel like popcorn butter. So I missed the first 5 minutes of this thing. And the first 5 minutes is the entire wedding. Like, I thought that's what this would be leading up to.
I thought that too. Like, seriously, the wedding was like...
The first 5 minutes.
It really is just like the previous one where like all the exciting stuff happens in like a minute and then it's just like long, boring shit.
Man, if you have not seen our other discussions about these films, they so often just come in here as like, oh my gosh, this is a thing. Instant resolve. All right, let's just hang out now in your private jet. Let's go to a party. Let's have sex. Which, man, the sex in this one, it's still bad. It's still stupid. There's more of it than ever. And for anybody who has not seen our reviews before, I'm sorry that we're going to get into some foul language on this, but it's 50 Shades Freed.
I mean, seriously, the 50 Shades thing is you're
we
gonna...
have to talk about this because the entire appeal of this is, oh man, it's such weird, kinky sex. My criticism of all the other films has been, is like, dude, if you just want to watch weird, freaky sex, just watch porn, because this is bad, weird, freaky sex. Like, they clearly, A, aren't doing it, and B, which, man, that's a weird critique to say, as I've always said about these films, the 50 Shades films makes you a terrible person for critiquing them, because there's so many things in here that are just so bad, and it's like, I have to point this out, but I don't want to be that guy.
It's a terrible movie, and if you critique it, you're automatically a terrible person. Like, if you're associated with this movie at all whatsoever, you're automatically a terrible person.
This is like the It Follows creature. There's no way to get around it. But no, I've always said the sex in these things are just boring and bland and obviously fake and just two very uninteresting people you don't care about at all. This one, it's exactly the same. It's still the same. It's still boring. It's still bland, but there's so much more of it. Like there was maybe like 3-4 sex scenes in the last ones. And I was like, wow, this is kind of tame compared to the first one. And this one, like every couple of minutes, it's just, well, time to have sex. And there's only one moment in here in which I was like, oh, this actually is kind of freaky sex. Okay, all right, yeah, she's getting into stuff. And then she immediately yells out her safe word. And then she goes, that's revenge sex. The hell did you do that to me? I was like, the one like actually like kinky sex that you did in here was the bad one that we should be wagging our finger at? All right, fine.
It's
fine,
like you
movie.
can't... It's like, if you're gonna, like, insist that these people are into, like, weird, kinky shit and then just say no when it actually does start getting weird and kinky, it's just...
I know, it's like, they keep, like, amping up, like, man, there's a line in here. The Red Room is not used for revenge. And I was like, who wrote that on paper? That's on fucking paper. Someone looked at it and then made another person say it, and no one stopped them. No one stopped them.
There's always at least one line in every one of these 50 Shades movies
this is probably the one.
Where it's probably just like the dumbest, most fucked up line ever.
You kinky fuckery. Yeah, I remember that one from the second one.
Yeah, in the first one it's like, I'm 50 Shades of fucked
up. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. I really think the Red Room is not used for revenge is probably the best one of them, though. But yeah, because there's a moment which they're married now at this point, and Christian Grey is still like fucking obsessed, like still just popping up like, why are you doing this? He's not as bad as he was in the previous two, but the fact that they're married still makes it like kind of makes it worse. The fact that he's doing it at all.
Because it's like, in order for her to like leave him, she just can't get up and go. She has to like file the divorce and everything. So it's like, way more
also, it's
complicated.
like, dude, you're married.
Yeah.
If you're going to start trusting her, it's probably time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You guys should have trusted each other before getting married.
I mean, you have no concept of the passage of time in these things at all. But I was watching a review from someone who had actually read the books, and they were like, yeah, they only knew each other for like 2 months before they decided to get, no, it was like 5 months. I think is how long the entire thing goes before they decided to like get married. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me with this shit. You knew each other for 5 months. And at some point you decided to break up, and even after getting back together, there's all kinds of crazy revelations and problems that you have, and you still get married? This is nuts. But yeah, in the films, you have no concept of the passage of time at all in these.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything like 5 months later or anything. It just like...
Well, also, it just jumps from one thing to the next, so it's like, all right, this is all, like, feels like it's happening within the course of a couple days. Which I guess it kind of is.
Maybe?
Maybe? I don't know. Man, I don't even remember what I was about to complain about. So, the marriage happened in like the first 5 minutes. And then after that, Jack Hyde is his name, by the way.
Ooh.
Subtle. Who was Anastasia's boss in the previous film. And he sexually harassed her. Christian Grey bought the company that she worked for and then had him fired. While they're on vacation, while they're on their honeymoon, he like puts on disguises, gets all this like high-tech equipment, like hacks into the Grey building, plants bombs in there. And I was like,
oh my god,
are you going to, is there gonna be like an explosion? Are we gonna see like Grey towers fall in this? Like, are you gonna see like his entire building blow up? Oh my goodness.
That's some terrorist shit right there.
Yeah.
Like,
but instead they just call up and go, yeah, there was a fire that was set in here. And it's like, you're not gonna show us the like thing that could have been like a cool thing to look at? All right, cool, whatever. And it's like, yeah, we don't know who did it. Here's the security camera footage, and you see like a guy with his face completely covered in shadows. He goes, that's Jack Hyde. He used to be my boss. Like, she identifies a picture that no one could identify. And so they start looking for him. And then like maybe like another 20 minutes go by of like no discussion of Jack Hyde at all.
It's like, shouldn't you like be on that like right away?
There is, yeah. It doesn't come back up again until Christian Grey has a Dodge, that like some fancy car that Anastasia wants to drive, and they go to this house. It was the house in the last film when they're on the boat and she goes, who lives in that house? He then buys that house because she thought it looked cool. And
really, I'm surprised he didn't already own the house. Like,
we thought that's what was going to be, right? Because literally any time in these films it was just like, oh my goodness, who would do such a thing? Hello, I'm Christian Grey. I wasn't 5 feet behind you at all times staring at you. So he buys this house and he's going to have someone like completely redesign it from the ground up, turn it into a smart house. And she's like talking to Christian while she's there. And then like the moment that Christian is like, oh, I gotta take a phone call, Anastasia just goes, don't talk to my husband like I'm not here. You can call me Mrs. Grey. Get back in your shit-colored car and go back to town, because if you're not going to do exactly what I want... And I was like, fuck you, Anastasia. Like, all she was doing was just going, well, I have some ideas here. It's like, well, I would like to do that. It was like, okay, well, but first here are my ideas. Like, yeah, that's what house designers do, you fuck.
Also, this is the time you decide to grow some balls? I mean... Wow, you've been like such a timid, weak pussy. I hate saying those misogynistic things.
Hey, you're saying it, not me. Go for it.
But it's like, yeah, it's like...
There came a moment in this film in which I finally realized what she sounds like. Every line of dialogue out of her mouth sounds like a little kid who is trying to prove to you they aren't tired and don't want to go to bed. Seriously, every line that she has ever said is just... Christian, you can't go around doing these things. But like, that's how she talks to Christian. How she talks to her friend. I know, it's so weird that I'm the boss now of this place. It's like, every line of dialogue could just be, like, have the exact same tone, but be exchanged for, I'm not gonna take a nap right now. It literally all sounds like that. Like, there's a moment, it hit me in a scene when she was waking up in bed, and I went, I'm half awake saying goodbye while I'm in like partial sleep voice is exactly the same voice she uses in every other scene in this movie.
Maybe she's just tired. Maybe that's just her
She's
character
tired
trait.
of
Like,
her-
she's just tired of everything.
We have always said there is nothing to her character. Maybe narcolepsy is there.
Maybe.
But as I was saying, she like smack talks this lady who was helping design the house, and then Christian's like, if you can handle her, you can handle the car. He tosses her the keys. She starts driving, and she's suddenly a race car driver. Just, and it's like,
It's funny how you say she sounds like a little kid who doesn't want to take a nap. Now the way you describe it is like she's like a little kid behind the wheel. It's like, wee!
yeah. It's some of the worst stunt driving I've ever seen, because like her hand motions do not match up with what you see the car doing.
It's like when
And like the windows are tinted, but not tinted enough that you can't make out that's not her inside. And the green screen on the inside is one of the worst fucking green screens I've seen YouTubers do. Angry Joe's reviews have better green screens behind them than what's in this movie. Nothing against Angry Joe. I'm just saying he don't got the budget of this film. But so they're driving, and then he goes, "You lost our security," because they have security following them at all times. At which the security guard is the only guy in here who I kind of like, because like he's professional, he does his job, he's serious when he needs to be serious. Cool. That's the only guy I kind of identify here. He's the only guy who actually seems competent in this film, and like they're capable of doing the job they're supposed to do. But they start like, they goes, "You lost our security." Then they get a call, and it's the security guy, and goes, "You're being trailed by this car." And then they look behind them, and there's another car, and like, "Yo, okay, we're being trailed." I was like, didn't you literally just say 2 seconds before this that you lost your security guys? How do they now know that you're being tailed by a car? Like, the security guys are nowhere to be seen. They are way back there. They lost them long ago, and yet somehow they're tracking them on satellites, just going, "Yes, I can see the car directly behind you, sir." And so he's like, "All right, you need to lose him." So then Anastasia is doing a car chase scene all around town, and they have a song playing that we literally just established Jack Hyde is back. He's pulling off like terrorist acts, like trying to take these guys down. Now they're being followed by a car. The song that's playing is, "Yeah, you get my body rolling and I'm sweating so hard." And I'm like, it's like some horrible, like fast-paced, like jazzy tune. And like, shouldn't this be like a scary sequence? You're being followed by a possible murderer.
it's like that's the thing. It's like all these movies had like inappropriate music at bad times.
We have never talked about the music in any of the reviews that we've ever done for these. Yes, we need to talk about it now. It's fucking awful, the music in these films. They are horrendous songs at the, like, just, even when they take a good song, it's a shitty remake
Yeah.
of it. I don't know who composed this soundtrack. It's awful. Oh my god, they're so bad. And yeah, they don't know when to ever put them in there. And this was like the best example I've ever seen of that. And earlier in this film, Christian Grey, they're at a like nude beach, and he won't let her take her top off. And he's like, no one should be able to look at you like that. And then like there's a moment when she comes up and she's taking her top off, and then she goes, "It's a topless beach. No one's even gonna notice I'm here." And he's like, "They'll notice it when it's on the front cover of a tabloid." And I was like, oh yeah, he is kind of a celebrity. So yeah, like going like naked swimming. Yeah, all right, your wife being topless, like that would pop up on a tabloid. All right, I see that. Not saying that she shouldn't be allowed to still do whatever she wants with her own body. I understand that, but it's like, he does raise a point. You're not just like being on a naked beach. You'll be on the cover of magazines. It makes sense. But then after they pull into this car and pull into a parking lot and they've lost the person following them, she starts jerking him off there in the parking lot and then hops on top of him and they start fucking right there in the car. And all I can think is, and you didn't want people taking photos of her topless on a beach, but now in a public parking lot, you two are just going to fuck right there. And you don't think people are going to notice that?
I don't want her to do anything scandalous unless I'm involved.
Also, it's not just a public parking lot. It's one of those ones where you have to get a ticket when you go in.
Yeah.
And they don't do that. And all I can think is, in 2 seconds, someone's going to be banging on that window going, "Pay up, $10 per day."
It's like, no, it's okay, I'm rich. I can get away with this shit.
He just throws a wad of, like, sticky cash out the window. Yeah. Oh my god, it just hit me how little we are into this film.
Oh, great.
Anywho, so, as I was saying, like, that's the next time that we hear from Jack White. Like, someone's following them. It's like, man, it's been like 20 minutes. Another 10 minutes go by. He comes up and attacks Anastasia in the house, puts the knife to her throat. Then her security guards come up, attack him from the back, punch him, knock him out, like tie him up, which there is actually one funny line of dialogue in here. They knock him out, get him on the floor, and they go, I don't have anything to restrain him with. And then Anastasia goes, we do. And then everybody pauses and goes, what? And he goes, I think I can find something. I was like, all right, that's okay. Half clap on that one. I'll take anything I can get at this moment. So he then just goes to tell him, like, we have an hour and 10 minutes left in this film. Did you just get rid of the villain right now? And then, yeah, it is like nothing after that point.
It's like, wow, that's a great build-up in, like, the end of the last movie, only to have it resolved.
Oh. I know so many critics who have laughed about this film saying, oh, they're going to have a Legion of Doom of sex villains in here. Because you had Jack Hyde, but then you also had Christian Grey's ex-girlfriend who snuck into their place in the last one with a gun and tried to shoot Anastasia. And she was like insane. It's like, no, Christian needs me. I'm the only one for him. And then you also had the woman who sexually assaulted him as a kid. The woman who is obsessed with him, never seen in this film. No mention, like the only mention is that Anastasia finds the gun that she used and Christian's still holding on to it. And she's like, why are you still holding on to this? Why didn't you give it to the cops? And then he goes, she had already been through enough. I wasn't going to get her in more trouble. And that's it.
I ended her life with this gun.
That was it. It's like, did she even go to jail? Is she still out there in the wild? What's happening
Out
with
there
this?
in the wild.
Is she still just like running around, like just stalking you on rooftops like a gargoyle? What happened with that? Like, yeah, no mention, gone. And the woman who sexually assaulted him, there comes a point in which Anastasia finds out that she's pregnant and she tells Christian, and Christian is just like, I don't know how to deal with this. Then he goes out drinking one night and he comes back and it's funny watching him try to act drunk because he can't, because this actor is horrendous. But then there's a moment when she passes out and she looks at his phone and he has a text from that woman saying, hey, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. And then she's like, you went and you talked to this woman behind our backs? And then I will say this. Both these actors are terrible. However, this is the one that actually finally settled for me who is the worst actor. Because there's a moment in which she has to go, talking to the woman who sexually assaulted you as a child is not okay. This is not normal. And I know that you don't want to have a child, but sometimes that happens when you fuck, which we've been doing a lot. This is her exact lines, by the way. I'm not adding that for a joke. And so, grow the fuck up. And I went, oh my God, she actually acted. Yay.
It only took her 3 movies.
Everything else in this film, she does in the I'm not tired voice. Christian has opportunities where he's supposed to be acting, like when he finds out their parents, like, Jesus, I didn't want this. You should have told me about this. Oh my goodness, we're going to have a child. I can't do this. He is unable to emote at all. So it's like, okay, that's settled. Who's the worst one? Christian Grey is the worst actor in this film. He cannot emote to save his life.
And you mentioned to me when she mentioned she was pregnant, it's like she was already.
Oh, hey pup. Oh, the pup hears someone outside.
Yeah, she does.
Sorry about that.
Right.
As you were saying.
Yeah, you mentioned she was pregnant, but you told me that she did not realize she was pregnant until 2 months
we
into
need to get
it,
into that. Okay. So she's been taking, I don't know the exact what type of birth control this is, but it's birth control that's it's a once a month shot that she has to take. She just forgot to start taking it, which I'm not going to criticize that because I don't take birth control. I don't know how hard it is to keep track of that. It's, I'm not going to say anything about that. However, when she finally gets the first sign that she's pregnant, she has morning sickness, she then goes into the doctor, and the doctor goes, yeah, it only works if you keep taking that. It looks like you haven't been taking the shot. It looks like you're about 6-7 weeks along. Alright, it's been a long time since high school sex ed, but I'm pretty sure there are warning signs before the 6 or 7 week point. So in other words,
This kind of reminds me of like those TV shows like I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant or something. It's like, how do you not know? I'm sorry, it's like, if I was like a little kid and I like saw something like this, I'd be like, oh no, I could get pregnant at any time. But now that I'm like older and like had the birds and the bees talk, it's like, how do you not realize the symptoms and stuff?
I was watching another review for this, and one of the people in the review was a woman who just had a child like a year ago, and she was like, there's no fucking way you can't not know by the 6-7 week point. Because all your thing was, if you're pregnant, you miss your period, which happens once a month. This means not only did you miss one period and not think anything of it at all, if you're at 7 weeks, that means there's a 75% chance you also missed your second one, and you still didn't think about this at all.
Well, then again, this is Anastasia Steele we're talking about. Not much goes on in her head.
One of the dumbest fucking characters in any film franchise.
It's like, wait, I'm pregnant? What?
I know, like, it was so creepy when she was pregnant, because I just kept thinking, it's like, you can barely feed and clothe yourself.
Yeah.
How are you going to take care of a child?
But yeah, it's like she's not smart enough to take care of a kid, and Christian doesn't want to, obviously, so it's like...
Have the security guards raise it?
Why not? That's what rich people do. They hire maids to take care of their kids.
There's one moment in this in which, like I said, Christian Grey can't act at all, but there's one moment I actually kind of got a semi-chuckle out of him, because he's a weird fucking psychopath. We've established that in all these films. But there's a moment in which he is talking to Anastasia, and he's just like, I don't want this child taking you away from me. I don't want to have to like compete with this child. And it's like, there's ways of phrasing that. You could have come in here and said, I'm worried about what's going to happen to our sex life after our child. It's like, okay, that's something that a lot of people go through when they have a child. But the way that he's phrasing it, like, I don't want to have to compete with this child for you. I don't want to lose you to this child. When he's this guy that in the past couple films, we have seen him, like, going to, like, just any random dude who talks to Anastasia, like, what are you doing over here?
Yeah, it's like...
It makes it almost sound like, are you fucking that baby? Are you cheating on me with our child? And it's like, yeah. Like, it has that tone to it.
Yeah,
but then there's
just,
a moment...
super creepy, way too possessive.
Yeah, but he is talking to her, and then she goes, you know it could be a girl, right? And then he just goes, Jesus. And like, it was in that moment that like, that is the closest he got to acting, because it was like in that moment that you could see him actually thinking, oh fuck, I might have to talk to her one day about not hooking up with someone like me. Like it was.
It's like she stumbles into the room and finds all their like whips and chains. Like, Daddy, what's this?
Yeah, it was like in that moment that you could actually see him like playing out the scenario in his head of like, God damn, what if she brings home some asshole like me? Like, just like, you could see him actually like realizing, I am in no way a role model for a daughter. Like, that's the closest he got to acting in here. Still was flat as fuck, but I was like, alright, I'll give you a semi-credit on that one. But yeah, I was just like, she's fucking pregnant and for 7 weeks and didn't know until now. So yeah, that was a little ridiculous. But we have yet to talk about like Christian's like weird possessiveness really in this film. There's a moment after Anastasia returns to work and she's, you know, the head of the publishing department she works at. Cause she doesn't want people calling her Mrs. Steele. She still goes by, she didn't want anyone calling her Mrs. Grey. She still goes by Steele there, Anastasia Steele. She says she doesn't want to change her name there. So there's a moment when she is in the middle of a conversation with a new author who is a male, and then Christian Grey just barges his way into the room, goes, oh, hi, I'm this guy, Christian Grey. Just like, I was like, are you actually like getting pissed that she's talking to male authors at her book publishing company?
It's like, I'm the only male you're supposed to talk to.
How many times have I said I want nothing but women working here?
So I can take advantage of all of them. Oh shit,
So, but he reveals he's like, I need to talk to Anastasia privately. Then he talks to her and I was like, he's about to say like, who was that guy? No, what he says is, I called up. There's no Anastasia Grey working here. I try emailing Anastasia Grey, but it just bounces back. And then she goes, listen, I need my own identity here because people already think that I only got this job because I'm sleeping with the head of the company. I was like, you did.
Yeah.
You are. Mm-hmm. The reason she got hired for this position was because you got the guy who owns the company who you're sleeping with fired the guy who was your boss, and then they just were like, well, someone has to take the place. Here, give it to you. And your brilliant idea that they bring back up in this, her brilliant idea was, what if we get these authors who have a built-in audience with the 18 to 30-year-old crowd? I'll file that under no duh. Like, God, no wonder the physical print medium is dying if you can't think of shit like that. Stop scratching the couch. All right. But yeah, so that was one thing. But he also doesn't want her going out with like her friends, like even her female friends, like even his sister, who they're friends with because Anastasia has no friends of her own. Even his sister, she goes to the bar with her, and then at the end of it, he's like, how dare you go out? I told you not to go out. You could have been in danger out there. We still don't know where this Hyde guy is. This was at the point before he got kidnapped. We still don't know what's going on with him. How dare you go out there? And it's like, he is pissing that. And then she goes, I need my own life, Christian. I don't get to hang out with my friends anymore. I miss that. So what he does is he decides, we're going to go on a vacation, just randomly, by ourselves. And then he takes her on the plane, and on the plane, it's all of her friends. And by all of her friends, I mean Christian Grey's sister, Christian Grey's brother, her ex-roommate who is dating Christian Grey's brother, and that guy from the previous two films who hit on her at the bar and Christian Grey dropped in like Batman and beat the shit out of him. And then in the second film, he took pictures of her without her consent and posted them in his art gallery display, again without her consent, and she thought it was creepy as fuck. He's there too as her friend.
It's like you could tell like they just reuse the same people from the previous movies.
You can tell that she's not written well enough to have a supporting cast of characters all around her. Mm-hmm. Like
it's like
when you only have 4 friends, one of them is the lady you used to live with, 2 of them are your husband's siblings, and the other one is a guy who basically sexually assaulted you and took advantage of you without your consent. Yeah, you don't really have a well-rounded group. You're not a very interesting character. So...
She is the most uninteresting person on Earth.
Man, I don't even know about that. Christian Grey is a competitor for that because... I was listening to another review and they brought up something really interesting. Yeah, we like billionaires, we like Batman, we like Tony Stark, but when they do cool shit, you look at it and it's like, that's some cool shit. Like, not even the superhero stuff. I mean, like, just like, oh, here's the fancy car he has. Here's the nice party he goes to. Here's all the cool stuff he does. You look at this and it's like, these are the most boring life imaginable. I'm broke as fuck, but I lead a far more fascinating life than you. Like, you go places and you do nothing there.
Yeah.
Stop digging in the couch.
That's the thing, it's like...
You go places and then you fuck on a table.
Yeah, you...
Congrats. Great, I could get more interesting sex by just going to Babeland with a $50 gift card than you have in this entire film. So... Alright. Let's get into, like, the end of this film. The end of this film... Jack Hyde makes bail. He is able to get out of jail, which she goes to his bail hearing and the judge says, well, I don't believe anything you're saying, but in light of your spotless record, bail is set at $500,000. I was like, okay, well, you don't really have to worry. No way is he going to get $500,000. Oh, he got $500,000 to get on bail somehow. Who knows? But there's also a moment in which when he's locked up, Christian Grey is still having like a security guard like do research on him, and they find that he videotaped himself having sex with other women and then blackmailed them to like work for him and do whatever he wanted. And then it comes to this moment where he goes, well, in light of your spotless record, I was like, excuse me, large spot over here. Because then that raises 2 questions. 1, if they got this information from the cops, shouldn't the judge have had that information? And 2, if they got it from a private investigator, why was it not reported to the cops? And why would creepy stalker obsessed ass Christian Grey not take this information about the man trying to murder and stalk his wife to the cops when he knows he's going to be having a hearing?
So it's established that the people behind this series does not know how to write relationships, write about company businesses,
The publishing industry,
business, and
the legal system.
Yes, doesn't know shit about any of those things.
Yeah, they don't really know squats. They know what a spreader bar is. They know how to use Wikipedia to look up sex toys. That's what they know. You know what? A far sexier read than this would just be the Wikipedia page on sex toys. You'll find far more fascinating stuff on there. So, at the end of this, the guy who was able to use disguises and high-tech information and high-tech equipment to break into Grey Industries, he then just kidnaps Christian Grey's sister and says, now bring me $5 million in cash, or else I will kill her. It's like, didn't you have like weird like Mission Impossible level technology going on? Like, didn't you have like plans and all this stuff? Like, wait, all right, so it just comes down to this. Fine, cool, whatever. Yay, it's almost over. So she then has to go and get $5 million out of their bank, and the guy running the bank goes, I have to make a phone call first. Comes back with the phone. It's your husband. He'd like to speak with you. And this is at the moment, like, right after she told him, grow the fuck up, and, like, they couldn't talk anymore, and they were, like, on the ends, and they were like, are you leaving me? And then she was like, I can't tell you. And then he goes, and then he says, all right, put me back on the phone with the guy who runs the bank. Give her everything that she wants. And then as soon as that's over, he hangs up and then calls up the security. Get me over to the bank as soon as possible. Something is wrong with Anastasia. She's in trouble. And I'm like, so you just, all right, you have some weird psychic connection to her that let you know. Because, yeah, no one else, like the average dude at that point would just have gone, oh, fuck, she is leaving me and she's taking all my money. All right, well, I kind of deserved it because I'm a piece of shit. So he gets over there and she has to leave out the back door and finds that the driver who is going to take her to meet up with, I keep forgetting his name, Jack Hyde, to meet up with Jack Hyde, was like the person who she worked with. Stop digging at the floor! God, you little weirdo. Alright. Basically, there is a secretary there at the company. She's the one who is now working with Jack Hyde because Jack Hyde had sex with her before Anastasia got there and has been blackmailing her and she has to do this. So she then gets in the car with the $5 million, but she still has her cell phone with her. So they have to find out where she's going, and Christian Grey goes, don't worry, I'm tracking her on her cell phone. And it was like, I swear to God, if your creepy stalker level obsession of tracking her every movement is what saves the day in this, fuck you for that. So she goes up there, she meets up.
It's like he's trying to be Batman, but he's doing it all wrong. It's like he's using the gadgets for all the wrong reasons.
This is what would have happened if Bruce Wayne's parents didn't die and he just became like a sexual predator. This is what would happen. It's like, alright, he's still got the detective skills in there, but he uses them just to stalk women. Mm-hmm. Not as fun. No. I don't want to follow this cinematic universe. Mm-hmm. So she ends up meeting up with Jack Hyde. Jack Hyde takes the money. He's like, no, I don't want the money. I want you. Slaps her across the face. No! Okay. I have mentioned there is no way to criticize these films without sounding like a horrible person. I'm about to sound like an absolute piece of shit. He slaps her once. No. And then he goes, shut up. Slaps her again, and she falls down to the ground. And then she's on the ground. Pulls the gun that like the other girl used on her out of her back pocket and fires at him in the knee and like takes him down, and then she just goes, ah. Cut to Christian Grey coming up, holding her in his arms. She's passed out. Cut to the hospital, and she has got bandages all around her head. She's being led down. She's got the tube in her nose. She's being like raced down the ER. No, it's okay. Cut to her in the hospital bed. Boop boop. Boop, 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 boop. I don't know, Mom, if she's ever going to wake up. Christian, she has love on her side. She doesn't say that exact word, but it's basically what she's saying in this line. Like, don't worry, you care about each other so much, she has to come back to us. Boop, 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 boop. It's like, he slapped you twice, and you're in a coma.
She slapped you. Jack slapped her twice in the face, and she's in a coma. Meanwhile, like, Grey slaps her ass several million times, so she's perfectly fine.
No, he slapped her ass once in the first film, and she went, that's enough, I can't take this anymore, and left. And I was like, That was the weird, horrible shit that he's into? That's too dark for you?
Well, apparently getting slapped, like, more than once
It's
is
her
enough
kryptonite.
to, yeah, it's enough to, like, put her in a coma, so... Jesus Christ,
I know.
Talk about glass, bones, and paper skin, like, holy fuck.
I know, like I said, you can't talk about this without sounding like a horrible person, but walk it the fuck off. You went into a coma from slap, no, get off me, slap, down the floor.
Like, unless you establish that you have, like, some sort of medical condition...
Hemophiliacs wouldn't go down from this.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't want to say this shit. I don't want these words to come out of my mouth. But I was looking at, I mean, like, she's got bandages all around her head. Like, he slapped her cheek. Why does she have bandages around her skull? The worst thing that could have happened right now is that, like, he dislocated her jaw. I'm giving you a lot of credit on that, too. But it's like, fuck, man. Bane could slap you twice and not put you in a coma, alright? Jesus Christ. And, like, yeah, I'm sorry. It's fucking laughable that this film ends with slap, get off me, slap, boop, boop, boop. No, we have to get rid of the ER as quick as possible. Bandage around, boop, boop, tube up the nose.
Like, it's one thing if you, like, punched her in the face several times.
That can knock you out.
Yeah, but a slap?
That can knock you out. That can give you brain damage. If you get knocked out, that will give you brain damage. Slaps her in the cheeks. Your brain is not in your cheeks. I mean, it could give you a lot of pain, but we know, man, this is gonna sound horrible. We know for a fact, based on the rules and the premise of these three films, we know you can take a lot of pain.
It's
the
like,
entire fucking premise.
No, she should have been like a badass and like, I've had worse from my husband or some shit like
Seriously,
that.
I would have stood up and applauded that moment. I would have stood up and been like, fuck yes. It all came back around. It's like, man, all that weird, creepy BDSM shit that they've been into all this time, it really toughened her up. Like,
Nope.
instead, it just left her frailer than ever. Man, you can't talk about this without sounding like a piece of shit, but all you could think was, you went down to 2 slaps and you're about to have a child. How is this going to work out?
She's gonna die during labor.
The entire bottom half of her body will explode.
Just like an explosion and baby comes flying out.
Christian Grey gets really turned on by it all. Discovers a brand new fetish. Again, I hate that I'm coming in here and making this critique, but I was sitting there with my jaw open like, slapped you on the cheeks twice and you went into a coma. What? Oh my god. Okay, and then at the end of this, they find, like, there's a moment in which they're, like, learning the backstory of Jack Hyde, and they're like, yeah, he got bounced around from one foster home to another in this school, in this city, and then Christian Grey goes, so did I. We had to pause because the dog was chewing the electrical wires. We're gonna have to teach it not to do that. So.
That's the first time she's done that, though,
Yeah,
so that's a surprise.
She's been pretty good.
Yeah.
But at the end of this, the police bring over a picture of, like, Jack Hyde's original foster family, and then Christian goes, oh my god, that was Jack. That's me. Bum, bum, bum. And the whole thing is, Jack Hyde was supposed to be evil Christian Grey. Christian Grey got adopted by the nice family, by the rich family, and so he got this big fancy home, and he got this big fortune there, and he was able to lead a company. But Jack, he was smarter than Christian Grey, but just as screwed up the exact same way, but he didn't get that chance. What could have happened if he was the one adopted and Christian Grey was the one not adopted? It's like, fuck you, no one cares. This is such a if you live in a foster home, I can only assume, like, live there for a long period of time, I'd assume you would remember the names of your siblings. Like, I can understand not being able to recognize them decades later, but the moment in which he first met this guy and went, hi, I'm Jack Hyde, and goes, oh, that's weird, I knew a Jack Hyde when I was growing up. I remember the names of people I grew up with, and they didn't even live with me. So, God, yeah, it just makes this whole thing so stupid to try and bring it together and try and make like some big message about all this, about like, oh my goodness, hey, it could have gone another way.
But that is such a horrible message too. It's like, hey, foster kids are fucked up. And it's like,
It should have been nice if there was like one in there who was like, no, he actually turned out okay.
yeah, it's like, and like,
I didn't get adopted by billionaires, and I'm not emotionally fucked up in every way imaginable.
yeah, it's like, cause like this, like, you know, it's bad enough like this franchise like talks down to like women and shit, but it's like
So much.
yeah, but it's like doing that to like foster kids too. It's like, wow, they've been through so much already. Like, why do you like want to paint them like in an evil way too? It's
I
like,
don't think that they try to do that, but then again, this film doesn't try to talk down the women, and it totally does. This film wants to be empowering women, and it totally isn't.
like, I feel like they were trying to like make an excuse as to why like Jack was evil and everything, and
Well, what they were trying to do is they were trying to go, hey, what if things had gone differently for Christian? But Christian is so fucked up as it is already that it's like, man, you really are just trying to go, our dog wants us to play fetch with it. Come on. Come on, Mike. No. Oh. No take, only throw.
she just wants to chew on her toy, which is better than chewing on a wire.
Alright. Yeah, we should be wrapping this up. Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's just so weird that both of them were fucked up in the exact same way and went to the exact same foster home and had the
I think the
exact same
foster
origin
home
stories.
should be investigated.
Yeah, it
and-
doesn't seem that way.
Yeah.
Track down the other 3 kids that were at that foster home.
Yeah. Also,
Are they all weird sexual predators as well?
yeah, and like, by the way, you say like the message is, oh, it could have gone another way, and all I could think of was, so Christian's name would have been Jack, and Jack's name would have been Christian, and everything else would have been exactly the same.
No, foster homes don't name you, honey.
No, I meant like this. I mean, they just would have swapped roles, basically.
Oh.
That's what I meant.
So, in other words, Jack Hyde would have spent this entire film, or Jack Gray, I guess.
Yeah.
Spent this. Well, okay, I guess there is a big flaw in my whole like thing, because I guess when you get adopted by the foster home by someone, you do change your last name. So, I guess that's why he never like went, oh, I knew a Jack when I was gonna like. Okay, all right, fine. I rescind that complaint. That's one taken off the massive shit pile. So yeah, in the end, this film, I give it credit because in the last 15 minutes when the whole hostage thing comes, I was like, well, things are happening now. But the rest of this film, it is just a lot, let's go to this fancy place. Let's fuck. Let's go to this fancy thing. Let's buy this fancy thing. Let's fuck. It's like, I just am so bored. And this is what made this such a horrendous experience for me. This is one of the worst movie-going experiences I've ever had in my life. I had like 4 hours sleep before going to see this.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
did not get any sleep the night
You
before
were busy
this.
like editing and everything.
I was dead tired when I woke up. And I have such a problem with staying awake in a movie when I'm tired. Like, cause when the lights go down and I'm in the seat, it's just like it is just a turn off. It is just a instant switch flip. Like, I just am fighting to go to bed. And I was like, God, I got like 4 hours sleep. And then I walk into this thing and it's the big reclinable leather seats.
no.
Those really nice, like, reclinable
Yeah,
leather.
like those giant cozy.
And I went, oh, fuck, no way am I going to stay awake. And I was like, God, these movies are so boring, too. I know I am not going to be able to stay awake in this. We got, like, halfway through this film. And I went, please let me go to sleep. If I watch only, like, half of this, we can still make a video out of it. I can't give final judgment on it, but I know we're going to have to watch this again at the end of the year for the Gauntlet of Garbage 2018 edition. Just let me go to sleep. I don't want to be here anymore. And I couldn't. I was dead tired, seat fully reclined. I had my hat. I was trying to cover my face with my hat to like block out all light. I couldn't do it. For the first... Normally, I fight to stay awake when I'm tired in a movie. I was dead tired and I couldn't, like, even for a second blink out. I watched every frame of this fucking movie because I couldn't go to sleep. And I was trying to flip on my side to go to bed, like just to get comfortable. Like, I couldn't do it. I was in hell. This is what hell is. It's being dead tired and achy, and you just have to sit there watching 50 Shades Freed like Malcolm in Clockwork Orange. Like, it was like someone was trying my eyes open. I could not get to bed, and I was trying so fucking hard because I gave up. I've never walked out of a film, but I know I need to go to bed. I know I want to go to bed. I'm in the perfect situation to go to bed. Make me get away from this. Make this go away. Make me because I know that when I go to sleep in a movie, I never go to sleep for the entire thing. I go to sleep for like 10, 15 minutes. I just want to go to bed for like 10, 15, even half an hour just to skip all this shit. Because I knew it wouldn't matter. And yeah, if I had fallen asleep for the middle half hour of this film, I would have missed the announcement of Anastasia being pregnant, and that is it. That is literally the only thing I would have missed in this entire fucking film. Because nothing happens in between. Jack Hyde gets arrested. Jack Hyde kidnaps his sister at the last 15 minutes of the movie. Except for they say Anastasia's pregnant. That is it. Just like with the last film, there is nothing to this fucking thing. I have no idea. The book for this has to be a pamphlet. It cannot be very long. Like, it's gotta be... This almost feels like a movie that was based on a brochure for an S&M shop. Because it really is nothing but, look at how nice our whips look in this fancy house. This film is horrendous. It sucks so hard. But it's not as bad as the other two.
Like, how would you rank the 3 movies?
I'd go 1, 2, 3. Like, from worst to best.
Okay.
Obviously, yeah, like, best to worst, 3, 2, 1. Like, they did get better with each one, but I mean, they're still all absolute pieces of dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, they're all, like, the second one is better than the first one because Christian Grey isn't as creepy and stalkerish in that one. He's not showing up randomly at like a diner in another state over that you happen to be at. Mm-hmm. Like, that was the moment that made me go fuck this, call the cops now on this guy. Second one, he's doing some creepy stalker stuff, but not as bad. And in this one, it's literally exactly the same as the second film. Like, it is beat for beat, nothing happening. Like, the exact same, like, probably even less shit happens in this one than happens in that one. But, I mean, just like with the last one, anytime something does happen, instant payoff, like, instantly solved. Like, the fucking helicopter crash from the last film. Kind of like the car chase in this one, like, at least there's more to it, but then they forget, oh yeah, wasn't someone following us? Shouldn't we have, like, tracked that or something? Like, oh, okay, no, it's never Bob again.
And, like, one thing that's always bothered me is, like, why is it called 50 Shades Freed?
Because I don't have to watch this shit anymore.
That's fair enough.
I was wondering that too. I don't know.
It's like, she's not free, she's married to this creepo.
I think it was supposed to be more like an emotional, like, Christian Grey is now freed from the sins of it. He's freed from his past. He no longer has to worry about his fucked up history. It's like, not really.
No.
No. He decides, okay, you know what? I can have a kid. It's not really freeing.
It doesn't really change anything.
That's gonna cause more problems for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Which there is a mid-credit scene in this in which it shows them, like, with the baby, like, walking through their, like, big house. And, like, okay, yay. And she's pregnant again, so it's like, okay, they still fucked. Alright.
Yeah, they're just gonna keep having kids and not giving a fuck about the kids and just...
God, I don't want to think about how many children they're gonna have. Although, I will say one thing about that helicopter crash from the last one, that was, like, the 3-minute long helicopter crash sequence. They in this one go, I didn't want to say anything, but I was talking to, like, after someone attacks the Grey Industries, they're like, who could this be? I didn't want to say anything, but I've been talking to the people investigating the helicopter crash. They say they think it was tampered with, that it wasn't an accident, that someone did that. So I was like, well, it came back.
In a really half-assed, poorly put together, last-minute way.
So there was a reason for it. There was a reason that they had it. It's still a dumb fucking waste of 3 minutes that isn't written well. It's still stupid. So, yeah, it's sad because, like his stalker never comes back in this one either, but the gun that she used in the last one is, like, the crucial thing that saves the day in this one. Like, goddamn, I hate looking at this and thinking that you thought out like book 3 as you were writing book 2, because it implies that you're capable of doing more than what you do. Like, I want to look at this and just go, yeah, everybody was just really fucking stupid on this thing. But then you look at those two elements and you're like, no, you understand how stories work, and you didn't write one. That makes it worse. So yeah, this one, it's almost exactly the same as the second one, except it's got that last 15 minutes where things are happening. It's stupid, but things are happening. That is the only thing that gives it like that much higher than the last one. Also, this one's 20 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
There's that. But yeah, so I cannot believe the first fucking movie I watched of 2018 is, I was about to say, is already going to be on my 10 worst movies of the year list, and I was like, I haven't seen all the other movies coming out this year. I don't want to jinx that. Because, yeah, there were so many films from 2017 that I was like, oh, that's going on the 10 worst of the year list, and by the end, when I was making out the list, I was like, oh, God. Not only is it not in the top 10, it's not even number 11 or 12. Like, I saw that many other films worse than the film that I was sure was going to be in the top 10 worst. But, God, this was bad. Black Panther. Black Panther. Man. You guys ask why I do the Gauntlet of Garbage? Why I watch these bad films? It's so that when I see a good film, it's just so right. That's gonna be the title card, by the way. Just, people are like, did he like this piece of shit?
No, it'll be like this.
I'm trying to make it look like an anus, people, because that's what this film is. This is it. No, not gonna do that.
No. No, you'd be banned and censored and all that.
I don't know. Logan Paul tortured animals, and he's not banned or anything, so.
They got rid of his advertisement-friendly shit. So.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
How did he not automatically go on probation? You know, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, like, forget that.
Fuck Logan Paul. I give 50 Shades Freed 2.5 Logan Pauls. Not an absolute full Logan Paul, but you know, like, mostly full Logan Paul. I'm gonna just judge all bad movies by Logan Pauls now. I don't know. We're done.
We're so done.
This has gone on way too long. The pup wants to play fetch. Yes. Hey, puppy! Hey! Look in the audience!
Yes, make everyone happy.
Yes. Oh, God, it's attacking my face. Let me wrap this up. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and Tumblr at Professor Thorgy. Go to our tpublic.com/user store to buy Professor Thorgy merch, including the newly just added Gauntlet of Garbage 2017 edition design, which you can get on shirts, mugs, posters. God, it's biting my finger. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
God, it is really on there.